Right, we're now here with the man who helped bring Darren into the world, Kev. We just thought we'd ask him a few questions about Darren growing up and what it's like. Right, Kev, what was your first feelings when Darren was born?
Shit. Pain in the arse.
You can have a little think about it if you want, you don't have to just jump straight in.
I don't think about nothing. I know.
Okay, so we're now here with the man who probably knows Darren more than anyone throughout his whole life, Leon Harewood. So Leon, how long have you known Darren for?
Too long. 32 years.
32 years. So what was he like growing up?
Boring. Absolutely boring.
Dull.
And aggressive.
And aggressive, yeah. No stories to say or anything like that? Just dull, as everyone's been saying?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I've thought hard about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Okay.
Give us a little insight to how Darren was like growing up. You know what he was like. Was he lazy, helpful? What sort of person was he growing up?
Helpful sometimes, lazy the most of the time.
Would you say he was a good son or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good son. Yeah, he was a good lad. But he used to do a few destructive things, like nighttime sleepwalking. And one night I had a racket in the room thinking there was a rat, and I was down stripping wallpaper off the wall. I'm not quite sure why. He never explained why, but someday he might do when he get old enough.
Weren't you a bit worried about that?
Yeah, I was expecting to go out the window.
We wanted to come and see the guy responsible for keeping Darren's barn a trim. So here we are at the local barbers to meet them, see what they think of Darren. Let's go take a look. Okay, so meet Coxie, Darren's hairdresser. Coxie, what's he like when you get in the chair then?
To be fair, it's a little bit awkward when he comes in. He's got, he just puts an awful mood in the shop. It's just so miserable. He doesn't want to talk to no one. You know, it's a bit of a struggle getting a conversation out of him when I'm cutting his hair, to be honest with you.
Okay. Academically, was he a bright lad? Sorry, I know the answer to that one.
He's top of the class. Top of the class.
Sorry, we'll just ask that one again.
Kev, so what was Darren like when he was at school?
There's only one instance that I know of, and that he got kept back to school for an hour because the forest minister, he said he didn't have nothing to do with it at all, but he pulled the pin on it, and that went off. He sat on the chair, and the chair collapsed, and then he got a hold of a young kid, and he squashed him so much his glasses ended up as a double. So
So we had a good day then?
All in one day, yeah. Yeah, so he got held back to school for an hour.
So here we are outside Darren's flat where he used to live with Wayne. As you can see, there's a shop there. You can pan around that way. There's a pub just here, so very convenient, ideal for every young man growing up. I believe he was about 21 when he used to live here with Wayne. So Wayne, what would he like to live with?
To be honest, pretty boring, you know.
Academically, was Darren a bright lad?
Ah, he was the sharpest. Sharpest. I think most of the time he's in detention because he's throwing nails at teachers.
Darren played a lot of football when he was younger. Have you got any stories relating to that at all? Or?
Not too much now, that he was just a moody player all his life, and he still is today. He was still playing, I reckon. That's the way he is. Nothing was right. Everything had to be spot on. Even the boot size had to be spot on and all that kind
Never
of
his
stuff.
fault, was it? Anything that happened in the game, yeah. I can relate to that.
Yeah. Everybody else is except his.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, you're 21 years old, you didn't have any drunken parties, no wild nights, no girls coming back here whatsoever, anything like that?
Well, the only thing really I can say, he stayed in so much, he got carbon monoxide poisoning.
So academically, was Darren a bright lad?
Oh, he was sharp. Really sharp.
Cool.
Yeah.
So when he comes in and asks for a trim,
Yeah.
any particular person that he kind of really likes, famous people?
Yeah, funny you say that, Ben. He's actually got a little book that he likes to bring in full of pictures of David Beckham. You know, like 2002, Mohican, you know, the mullet, everything, mate.
He's had them all then, has he?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But every time David Beckham, mate, no one else, just David Beckham. Haircuts. What's the latest David Beckham haircut?
That's all he asked for.
Yeah, I'll have that, mate. Nice one.
Did you have to Google them sometimes?
Yeah, Google them, and then he saves them to his little book, and then he has a little playthrough the next time.
Wedding day, we just wonder if there's any skeletons in the closet, Kevin.
Well, there's a couple that I remember. Saturday one morning, having a cup of tea one morning, and I hear someone coming down the stairs thinking that was Darren, and this blonde bit of crumpet just walked past me, said good morning, and walked out the door. I never even knew who she was.
Did that happen very often with Darren, or was it just...
A few times.
Yeah.
Yes, a few times. One night wonders, you know.
Make of that what you will.
You've played football with Darren for most of his career, so I know you've got a good understanding with him on the football pitch.
Well,
So
not mostly. He's mostly on the bench.
Oh, okay.
I was playing. He wasn't.
Okay.
Asking about the Pullman Road 5. How that one went.
I was on the bench nearly the whole game, wasn't he? Yeah? Brilliant. So when he was on the pitch, you had a good understanding with Darren and a good relationship. So, but what was he like, kind of in the dressing room? Was he? How do you kind of measure up?
Short.
He was quite short with the
Always.
I've seen him in the dressing room. He's kind of more two veg than meat, to be honest. But bit of a space hopper. You've actually known Darren through football for a while.
Yeah.
And obviously the haircuts, and you've been out with him socially. What's he like to go out with?
Again, mate, he's just miserable, you know. I'd say he's probably worse than Liano. Just a pure rain cloud, mate.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't bring a lot to the table, kind of thing. No.
Nah, Jimmy no hands.
Right. Both Wayne and I were a bit shocked to be asked to be best men, because you probably know Darren a lot better than we do. You're a lot closer to him, and you was his previous best man. Would you like to comment on not being best man this time around?
Not at all. I think it's rubbish, really. But that's the way it is. So.
Okay. Okay, so we'll leave it at that then.
Cheers.